Today on Church and State, we'll be covering stimulus checks for your gasoline.
And megachurch pastor Brian Houston of Hillsong Church has resigned.
Plus, why Travis can't get a date in Spokane. Hello, Christian Patriots, and welcome to Church and State, where we strive to plug you into the pew and plug you into politics. And I am your host, Caleb Blomgren, and with me, as always,
Gabe Collier.
There you go. What's the the celebrities where they mash up
mash
their
the words like Brangelina.
So what are we?
Dude, I'm not doing that. That
what are we?
Sound good.
Come on, Gabe.
You can either be. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Good times.
There's always a little bit of comedy.
So I'm not going to show the name of the energy drink, but he comes into the studio. He doesn't say anything. I haven't had a cup of coffee yet, and this dude is just a mile a minute. So he's drank half of his. I already have a cup of coffee. I drank about 2 sips of this, and I'm just feeling lightheaded. So my guy over here is completely ready to go. There's more than enough in this. And Travis has told me, so at times Travis has told us that he does not eat bacon, but if sat down at a meal, he would be respectful to the people who offered him bacon. But he said with no ifs, ands, or buts, Travis, you will not what?
He will not consume.
I will not accept an energy drink.
Okay.
We're going to trick him into that.
I wonder what would happen. I think he would get the shakes.
I will smell it
like a million push-ups.
and leave the room.
Yeah. Well, so earlier...
Hold on.
All right. Go ahead.
Just Church and State has to apologize again for fake news.
Why?
When Caleb falsely reported that Swedish fish are the worst candy.
Oh, we're going to go on that.
Not only did he...
We're discussing that. That's our second story. Don't jump the gun, Travis. Okay. Stay on target.
Okay, all right. You need to invent a comeback. I get it.
Oh, we're going to go after not just you, but also the audience.
All right.
Spokane dating scene among the worst in country, survey says. Travis, this is exactly why you are incapable of getting a date here in Spokane.
Part of me wants to come against determinism, but the other part of me needs to make that excuse.
Well, so Spokane came in number 78 out of 86 in Apartments List rankings for dater satisfaction, Travis. This is the problem that we are currently looking at. If you're looking for love in Spokane, you're going to have problems because apparently Spokane actually does suck. Gabe.
Yeah, they actually had at Apartment List, this is a data on renter surveys, and they asked the question to 20,000 renters about whether or not they were in long-term committed relationships or marriages. And somehow they asked the question, how would you rate your current city or neighborhood for opportunities to date? Possible responses were as follows: very satisfied, somewhat satisfied, neutral, very unsatisfied. And dude, 78.
21% of people surveyed saying they were satisfied with dating. Only 21% in Spokane are satisfied with their dating, who they're currently dating. And so to our audience, look, Travis is a gem.
Yeah, dude, he's a gold mine.
He's a dime, isn't he?
He's a gold mine.
He is.
Like he's literally, he's a walking wonder through Spokane City proper.
Yeah. So we continue.
What can we do to advertise more? This guy's phone number should just be ringing.
Yeah. Well, should we put it on screen maybe?
Maybe.
That'd be a good idea. I think, honestly, maybe we should have some kind of event where we...
A gala.
Yeah.
Just display him.
Yes. In a tuxedo or something. Not wearing that hat, though.
Can we wear tuxedos? Of
course.
I'm wearing my orange one.
Oh, I need a blue one.
Okay.
You failed on that one. All right.
But here's the reality. I'm going to say this, man. Walking around Spokane, especially like Kindle Yards during the summertime, these very, my wife and I are holding hands, so I'm very much taken. But I do see these droves of single girls walking around in Kindle Yards looking for sharply dressed young men. And what end up showing up is these pants that are down to their off their butt cheeks, and these guys who call themselves men who don't act like men. They act like boys. So truly Spokane does need more men. So
like Travis Plunkett.
Yes.
All right.
I digress.
All right. Moving on to the second story. And as you can see, the caffeine has definitely, made my choice in articles subpar. Maybe.
The Rain Man in you is coming out.
It's coming out for sure. So, but earlier on the show, and I don't believe you were here, Gabe, but I made the comment that I had failed as a parent because I had taken my daughter to the store and let her pick out any candy, and her choice was Swedish Fish. And Swedish Fish, in my opinion, are some of the worst candies ever made. Well, our audience disagreed with me. And so what that goes to prove is our audience has really poor taste.
So,
but not in this show.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
yeah,
this
you don't
show
want
is
to say
great.
that.
This
you
show is great, and that's why people watch this show. But they have really poor taste in candy.
So we're going to go through a list of this article has led a list of worst candies. When we get to yours, Travis, please come to the defense because in a lot of ways I'm with you. I think it's a good candy. But on the top of the list, I'll do drum roll, please. The worst candy to begin with.
No, this is number 20. The worst one is number 1. So this is number 20.
Well, I hate this one.
I
but
do too.
Anyway, the only thing it's good for is making Dracula fangs. Drum roll, please. It is candy corn.
Candy corn. It is awful. Nobody likes it. It always comes out in Halloween, and everybody's like, why do I eat this?
I don't know.
But we have such a sugar addiction in the United States that even if it is a terrible candy, we will still consume it.
Number 19.
Smarties. Smarties are awful.
They're basically chalk.
Nobody gets excited about getting a Smarties, and you got to unwrap that thing, and they don't even really taste like anything other than sugar. Like, why are they multicolored?
They don't even taste like sugar. They taste like if chalk was edible.
I actually think there's a worse one that tastes like chalk, and I believe it's the third one here. Go ahead.
Necco wafers. This is something. Didn't they actually have a candy form of Necco wafers? You could actually wear it. I think.
Oh yeah, the necklace.
Necco candy necklace.
So you know why this tastes so bad?
Why?
Necco is far too close to the word necro.
Ooh.
Which just, I mean, it's dead. It is a dead candy. This thing should go away. Keep going, Gabe.
Number, I don't know now.
This is the worst, actually, I think, in my opinion.
These are called candy buttons.
Do you remember these?
No, I don't.
Okay, they are literally little strips of sugar on paper. And you had to peel it off of the paper. But the problem was you could never get
the paper off.
Yeah, you were eating paper.
Right. Exactly.
I don't even know why this is a thing. And look who it's made by. Necco again.
Yeah, they're not winning. Okay, next one. You actually like this one.
I do like this one.
I'm not surprised. Go ahead.
So, atomic fireballs. What's not to like about an atomic fireball? You remember these as a kid?
Yeah, man. Make your eyes water.
Dude, you put as many as you could. That was the challenge.
Yeah, as many as you could.
Whatever, as many as you could. How many can you take?
We'll see a theme here because I think you're a cinnamon guy.
I do like cinnamon.
Moving on to the next. My wife's favorite. She completely disagrees with this.
I will eat
Milk Duds.
I will eat Milk Duds. I will. The problem with Milk Duds, though, Gabe, is you take a bite and they're like,
oh yeah,
stuck way up.
There goes your filling.
Like it's way up in there. Yeah, absolutely.
Have you had Milk Duds, Travis? Okay.
All right. Okay. This one, though, I think we can all agree on. Circus Peanuts. You like Circus Peanuts?
I don't even know what that is.
It's peanuts and marshmallow. Like, who doesn't want to eat peanut flavored marshmallow?
I'm not a fan of anything with a peanut taste. The only Snickers bar I can handle because it's coated in enough caramel.
You know what else they did? They were initially banana flavored, that artificial banana flavoring, which is just literally torture to consume.
Next is one that I really like the story behind. This is actually an immigrant, Sam, born after he acquired this Rada candy company. He kept this marshmallow chick line, and over the years, this thing has been hazard tested. Like people have blown these things up. They've boiled them, liquid nitrogen. They're insoluble in acetone, water. They do not dilute in sulfuric acid and sodium hydroxide. These are
obviously
Peeps.
Healthy, very healthy.
Easter favorite Peeps.
You know what? People either love Peeps or hate Peeps.
My dad loves them.
I hate them. Stand them. I've even had people try to make s'mores with them.
Oh, we've had Peep roasts. So we would get our youth group together, and that's the only good use for Peeps. You roast them, and it's still disgusting
while they're on fire.
Yeah. Peep roast.
No, they're just absolutely one of the most vile
This next one is one I cannot stand.
Tootsie Rolls, man. Tootsie Rolls, nobody gets excited.
They don't taste good.
So once again, in school, man, grade school, you go out trick-or-treating, right?
You get a lot of these.
The two things that were always at the bottom of the bag because nobody wanted to eat were the Smarties and the Tootsie Rolls.
Exactly, dude. Right on. I was going to say Smarties right along with Tootsies. These things, what's cool about them is they do not melt, even in extreme temperature.
They don't. Yeah.
Next one.
Bottle caps. I don't even really remember
I remember these actually. I do remember these.
Okay. They look like the tops of soda, right? And
yeah.
Were they tasty? Did you like them?
Well, they had a bottle cap. I think they had a bottle cap kind that actually fizzled fizzied in your mouth. So you got that fizzy sensation. So, yeah.
Well, that doesn't sound all that bad.
Yeah.
All right.
Next one.
Hot tamales, man.
Okay, this is one that you like.
I actually like fireballs better than the tamales because the tamales are a little bit too close to like a Swedish fish consistency.
Yeah.
But I'll eat hot tamales. Yeah.
I love that it says here, this is kind of funny, even though in 1999 they were named the hottest selling candy, they will surely make you dislike them as a result of their taste. But if you like the feeling of stinging wasps on your tongue, indulge in them.
You know what, though?
That's pretty funny.
Here's the problem.
Atomics are way more.
Here's the thing about hot tamales, though. That is cultural appropriation.
Yeah, that's totally.
I think we should ban hot
totally
tamales.
Depletion of the Mexican culture.
Absolutely.
All right, this one I've never heard of.
I had never heard it, but once again, it's coming from Necco. Necco just makes terrible candy.
They're just not good at it.
Mary Jane, listen to this. It's a mixture of peanut butter flavored with molasses.
No, moving on.
Yeah,
I kind of actually want to try some of these.
All right, Double Bubble, buddy.
This is Ellie's favorite, Double Bubble.
The problem with Double Bubble,
she used to call it Hubby Bubble.
So Double Bubble, just like fruit stripe gum. You put it in your mouth.
6 bites.
It immediately loses flavor.
You got 6 to 10 bites, and then the sugar's gone.
Then it becomes hard, too.
And you feel like you're chewing cud.
You're literally like, you want a square jaw? Chew Double Bubble.
Yeah, it's been around since World War II because the candy grew in popularity. This is interesting. It was even distributed as part of military. You know about K rations. During World War II. Did you have gum in your rations?
We did, but we had chiclets.
Chiclets, sweet.
Not much better.
Nice.
All right, runts. You know, as a kid, I didn't mind runts, but the reality is that they're like this fruit designed, like jawbreaker almost. They hurt when you eat them.
Yeah, and what's funny is you think our family's weird because our family likes what?
The banana one.
For some reason, our family likes anything banana flavored.
Do you like banana Twinkies?
I've never had one. No.
That's the original Twinkie.
All right.
Banana flavored.
This is one of my favorites. We would consume these in vast amounts, and they were super unhealthy. Pixie sticks. Dude, they were like a straw. Have you ever had a pixie stick, Travis?
It's just colored sugar.
Yeah.
But you know what we used to do in elementary school? Did you ever snort a pixie stick?
I did. It burns. It burns.
We were so stupid as kids.
Dots.
Okay. Dots are disgusting. Dots are actually probably as bad as Swedish fish.
The red ones are actually the only good ones.
No, none of them are good.
I like the red ones. And that's another quick way to lose
teeth. Yeah.
Well, lose a filling.
Yes.
Dentists love dots because I guarantee you it's a business maker.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Travis, drum roll. Swedish fish. You ready to go? Defend your Swedish fish position.
If you can.
So I did some research while you guys were speaking here. And an orca, a male adult killer whale, weighs anywhere from 8 to 12,000 pounds.
Where is he going with this?
I don't know.
8 to 12,000 pounds. And okay, orca, everyone loves killer whales, right?
Now, not sea lions don't.
If Swedish fish were the worst candy, then there would not be the equivalent of. Hold up, I'm moving my mic.
He's moving his mic.
Moving my mic.
Technicians.
The equivalent of. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Wow.
2,000 killer whales in body weight of Swedish fish manufactured each year. That is 14 million pounds of Swedish fish.
Do you know why? Do you know why, actually, Travis?
Why is that?
Okay, so obviously with our audience, there's a lot of preppers that actually watch this show.
Yeah, so they're ready for this apocalypse.
Swedish fish, literally, they cannot be killed. They just last forever. Okay, so people are buying bulk amounts of Swedish fish so that they have a little bit of candy to consume during the apocalypse.
It is literally said here, as a result of using invert sugar and fructose, the candy is said to have a long shelf life and does not spoil easily. Due to their long shelf life, you might find yourself eating candy that has been in the store for months.
Yeah, don't consume.
This is a good thing. Hey,
it's a prepper.
One more thing.
Swedish fish.
So Oreo only uses the best flavors in their Oreos, and they made a Swedish fish flavored Oreo.
They also made a watermelon flavored Oreo, dude. No,
do you not like watermelon?
Not in Oreos.
I love watermelon, but in Oreo?
No. You know, Oreo missed the mark on both Swedish fish and on watermelon flavored. Anyway, next one is Bit of Honey.
Bit of Honey.
Nobody eats that. It is. It's nasty.
My dad likes it once again.
It's a weird one. Good and Plenty. Okay. Good and Plenty. Okay. Number one, a lot of people hate black licorice. I don't mind black licorice personally, but when you cover it in this disgusting shell of like dyed candy? I mean, it's nasty.
Well, here's the thing: that red dye that comes over the Good and Plenty, that's kind of crunchy because it's licorice on the inside. It's produced from the crush bodies of a female cochineal insect, so
actually makes it a little bit healthier,
I guess.
All right, and last but not least, candy cigarettes.
Oh, dude, come on!
Yeah, they don't.
This is too. Yeah, it's out of the box.
Yeah.
They back in the day when you opened the box or opened the wrapper, it allowed users to blow and make what looked like a cigarette smoke. So I guarantee you that was some form of asbestos powder.
Probably. All right, let's get a little bit more serious, Gabe.
Okay, here we go.
So, Gabe, let me ask you this: you like superheroes, right?
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, who doesn't like a good Marvel movie? You know, Captain America, Winter Soldier, all these individuals, they're great, right? But let me ask you something, Gabe. If we were to have actual superpowers in this world, and if you came across a Muslim who had superpowers, according to Western standards, would they be a hero or a villain?
They would be a villain.
Absolutely.
Antagonist all the way.
Now, why do we say that? We say that because we understand Islam. In Islam, if you are actually Sharia compliant, what are you going to be engaging in? Well, the Holy Quran, as it's called, says that Jews are pigs. It says that we should be killing infidels. Jews and Christians is what the Quran actually charges Muslims to do. Okay, so if you've got a superhero, somebody who has great power, and they are literally killing off Jews and Christians because they're following their religion, I would classify that as a villain, personally.
Yes, I agree. And Disney Marvel just released a trailer for its Muslim superhero live action series, and Miss Marvel.
And
that's not to be confused with Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel's a female now, but Miss Marvel is actually a different character.
It is a different character, but she has been around for a long time, right? And they have made her a Muslim.
They've made her a Muslim.
So here's the other question, Gabe. I mean, it's a Christian show, but how do they characterize most female superheroes?
Lesbian.
No, not just that. What are they typically wearing?
Oh, scantily clad clothes.
Scantily clad clothes. Okay, so
is Miss Marvel wearing a burqa?
Nope. She is not.
Then she's not an actual Muslim.
She's not compliant at all on this. Now, interestingly enough, the comic book cover, the artwork that they have in here, they actually have her sitting on a lamppost in Jersey City, looking across at New York City with a statement, "Coming for you, New York."
That's kind of weird.
Whoa. You mean like in 1993 or in 2001, when clearly we saw what Islam wants to do to New York City specifically? Yeah, that's a little bit scary in my opinion here, Gabe.
I definitely think it is. Why? Because even though it sounds as if we've forgotten, actually they list here, a lot of people have forgotten what happened on 9/11. Okay. But it says here 247 people were just murdered in the name of Islam last week alone. That being the week of March 15th, 2022. I'm not trying to dredge up something from the past, but 247 people, this is a worldwide estimate, okay, killed in the name of Islam. And so this is not a peaceful
what's interesting,
religion.
What's interesting too, Gabe, is that Islam has become almost a sacred cow to the left in America.
Yes.
Anyway, all right. So
this was very interesting.
It truly
I know
is.
where you're going.
Yeah, exactly. So they've already had, Marvel is very, very woke. Okay, it's Disney. It's very extremely woke. But they've already had superheroes that were black, that were lesbians.
Yeah.
Right. But they weren't popular.
No, they axed those before they would even axe or touch the sacred cow of Muslim.
They won't go after this. Even if this thing plummets in sales, which it is. It's
doing
not,
horrible.
It's not successful at all.
Only 12,000 copies were sold worldwide.
That is nothing. So even Muslims don't want to read this. Is really what I'm seeing out of that.
Yeah, its per month sales keep dropping, and it's well below cancellation numbers. But despite that, the character guest stars in every one of their popular comic books. So they keep forcing this character into other. They do that, even though it might not necessarily be that comic. They will throw that character into another comic series. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like they're forcing it down your throat.
Here's the thing: being a jihadist includes fighting, killing, and dying in the name of Allah. So once again, just to put those bookends on this story, if you were Sharia compliant and you had superpowers, you would be a villain according to the West. All right, moving on from there, Gabe. We got another one here. This is just brilliant. Coming out of Washington State. Don't you just love our country? Or our state, I should say.
Yeah, I was going to say our state.
Yeah, our state is so brilliant that a Washington school is actually adopting race-based discipline. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, if you are...
a bigger divide between white and black?
Well, not only that. shouldn't our laws be consistent? Shouldn't we expect
absolutely
consistency in how we are punished if we break a rule?
We're breaking lines in our very humanity. We're no longer able to say, hey, you're my brother, I'm your brother, we're both humans, we both bleed blood. Okay. It is so race-based now. We are finding new ways every single day to separate ourselves from our other brothers and sisters, whether it's Mexican, American, Native American, African American. Now they are forcing at Clover Park School District a student discipline policy that means student discipline would not be consistent based on conduct. Instead, a school is now considering that their race background or the color of their skin would now deduce that white students would get harsher punishments rather than their conduct being identical to a black or Hispanic student. White children now will get harsher punishments.
So imagine if I initiated this type of a policy in my own home. Now, you know my kids.
This is a great example, by the way. Those of you who are listening right now, pay attention because my guy right here has kids that are of not the same color. Absolutely. And they're all his kids and they're all his wife's kids. This is awesome. There's no mixed kids. This is not a mixed family. It's same DNA.
So I've got Jackson, Titus, and Autumn, right? Jackson and Autumn look very Hispanic, do they not?
Especially your firstborn.
Jackson, if you were to look at him, you would think that he was 100% Mexican.
Yeah.
He is so dark.
He looks darker than your wife.
He does actually look darker than my wife, which is interesting. So Titus, on the other hand, looks a whole lot like me. He's a white kid.
And they all look like Dad, by the way. They all share traits.
Okay,
well, you better agree on that.
But let's just say in this, and if I'm going to actually use this, all right, and in all fairness, all right, to be culturally responsive, all right, Titus and Jackson and Autumn all decide to get into the cookie dish and all eat all the cookies right before dinner. And I look at them and say, well, I believe that Mexicans view this as okay. This is acceptable culturally. So I'm not going to punish them very severely. But Titus, on the other hand, you are Caucasian looking, and so I am going to spank you, put you in the corner, and take away all your toys for a week. Is that fair?
No.
It's not fair at all. This is insanity. But this is what we have in Washington State in their attempt to be inclusive, in their attempt to actually, Gabe said it best, divide to where you are going to have more hatred at elementary school levels, Gabe. Elementary school levels, they are going to be taught to hate each other.
Kids understand what fair is all the way. Imagine sitting down in a principal's office, 6 students, 3 white, 2 Hispanic, 1 African American. 3 kids get detentions. The other 3 get, warnings or demerits of some sort. No, and you're sitting there as white kids in detention. How's that going to go over? That's going to create race division.
It is, absolutely. So
next story.
Let's talk about fairness, okay? Hey, I think we can all agree as Americans, left, right, indifferent, that gas prices suck right now.
They do.
They are awful. They are as bad as Swedish fish right now.
So what is Gavin Newsom's solution in the state of California? He's introduced a bill that will do what?
It's not just Gavin Newsom, though. This is federal as well. All right, but yeah, let's start with California, though. California, Gavin Newsom is actually proposing that the residents of California get a stimulus check of $400 per vehicle with a cap on 2 vehicles. Okay, you're going to get $400 a month to combat current gas prices. So, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go over to the federal level. Okay, 3 congressmen have actually suggested that families with 2 children could get as much as $300 per month as long as the nation's average gas price exceeds $4 a gallon.
This is called the Gas Rebate Act. The bill was proposed by Thompson, Larson, and Underwood. So just wanted to say that. This is insanity. So your car now gets you sympathy from the government.
Absolutely. Until they decide to take away all cars and make it electric.
Whatever happened to free market capitalism?
Well, what's amazing about this story, Gabe, is they want to actually tax the gas companies. That's how they're going to come up with this money. So they're not going to create money out of thin air, which is something government is just fantastic at doing. But they actually want to start taxing the gas companies. And how they're going to do this, Gabe, is it's fascinating fuzzy math here. All right. So this it'd be called the big oil. Big oil. Oh, I just lost my place, Gabe. Anyway, what they're going to do is they're going to go after the big oil companies, and they're going to actually look at gas prices between 2015 and 2019, pre-pandemic. And they're going to say anytime the gas exceeds that at the current level, they're going to be able to tax at 50%. 50% they're coming after the gas companies. Well, think about it. If the gas companies are getting taxed at 50%, where are they going to make up their profits? They're going to charge higher.
Yeah, gas prices have to go up. So you're stabbing yourself with a fork, and then somehow it's supposed to help you.
This is not how supply and demand works. This is the stupidity. Every single time government gets involved in the private sector, what do we have? Chaos. Education, Gabe. Look at what they did with the pandemic, so-called pandemic. Every single time they involved themselves. Look at Social Security. So many examples that we can actually throw out here to prove that when government gets involved in the private sector, you are going to end up paying more.
It's horrible.
All right. Last story, Gabe. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have the Hillsong yet again in the news. Great influence all over the planet. My daughter actually attended Hillsong College for a year in Phoenix, Arizona. But Pastor Brian Houston, who I've met personally, not close friends, not even on a name basis, but met him at pastors' conferences back in the day when I was in my 20s. His pastor, Carl Lentz, has resigned from the New York campus. Now we have the senior pastor, the very head over all of the Hillsong churches. He's now come and made his choice to resign from Hillsong Church in Australia. And so he's now stepped down over allegations of a decade ago, inappropriate text messages to a member of his staff, which resulted in the staff member resigning. And then now an allegation in 2019 following an in-depth investigation. It says that Pastor Brian Houston became disoriented after a session at his conference following the consumption of anti-anxiety medication beyond the prescribed dose mixed with alcohol. This resulted in him knocking on the door and going into the hotel room of one of his staff, who was a female occupant. And it says her statement said that he didn't do anything, but his intentions were inappropriate. So what's happened is now he's had to step down. So what I want to do is encourage all of you right now, do not shy up on praying, but also realize that the Lord he's doing something right now in the church. He's doing a cleansing. Yeah. But I also want to say this, man. Yesterday, I prayed a lot for his wife, Bobby, for his sons and his family, Joel Houston. You guys need to lift this family up in prayer. Some of you are like, why should I feel sorry for him? Why should I have sympathy? Why? Because to him who's given much, much is required. Much was required of this man, and he will face judgment from God. So you need to be in agreement with prayer for him. So really lift this family up.
Well, amen to that, Gabe. There's a little bit more here, but we've run out of time. So Church and State is sponsored in part by On Fire Ministries and Understanding the Threat, Vanquishing Liberty's Enemies, and Restoring the Republic. And with that, Church and State is out.
God bless.